So, welcome everybody. I'm so excited to see your faces here. This is Wishful fucking Thinking, an audacious dare to live your dream in 2021. And I am Trisha Dietrich. I will be your guide on this journey today. And I just encourage you for this hour and a half to be the raw version of yourself. You are muted, but I'm hoping that we will have time to share. If you want to say profanity, if you want to drop some F-bombs, if your life has just been a clusterfuck of anxiety and turmoil, just let that be. Let yourself be in turmoil and let yourself be calm and happy if you're calm and happy. I just want this to be a space. There's a lot of formalities in our world, and the reason why I put profanity in this offering is because I'm just tired of all the formalities, and I think that other people, if they feel the same way, I wanted to create a space for them to just be real with everything that's happened. It's been a crazy year, and so a lot of emotions flying around, a lot of rawness, and I just invite you to just be the raw form of yourself for just this time that we have together. And I'm going to start by reading a poem, and it's a poem that we all know. It's called Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why, oh why can't I? I wanted to read this because these words are so ingrained in most of our life that it's hard to not sing the lyrics to these words. And it's a very forlorn song. So many of us who have grown up listening to this song have been fed that we can't make our dreams come true. That's what this song is about. And right after Dorothy sang this song, a tornado blew her house away, and she ended up in the land of Oz, where she went on an epic journey, and she encountered talking lions, tin men, flying monkeys, witches, and wizards. And many times she felt lost, and she just didn't know what the hell was going on. She felt like her world was upside down because it was. She wasn't used to that world. And she found the strength to overcome a lot of obstacles. And then she woke up and her life was different. And she woke up in the same life that she was so forlornly lamenting the fact that she couldn't make her dreams come true in, but she had changed. And in that experience of turmoil and rawness, she found the strength to trust in herself and in the universe. And her life was different. She found her yellow brick road, and she found her way home. And so I want to ask you, what if she would have believed that her dream could come true? That would have been a very different story. And I tell you what, that story wouldn't probably have been made into a movie, because a woman that had the confidence to know that her dream could come true and she was walking her own yellow brick road to make it come true would have been taboo at that time. And so I want to give everyone here permission to just say bullshit to that idea that there is this hopeless, forlorn mentality that says that it's impossible that we can't live our dreams, because we can. And I'm here to nudge you to get your sweet ass up and to do something right here where you are and to get started on this dream that you have, because you're the only person that can do it. And you have to do it for you. You can't do it for anybody else. They can motivate you to do it. But if you're living your dreams for other people, you're not doing them a favor, and you're not living your life. So a lot of horrible stuff has happened this year, and it's uprooted us. And we've been uprooted in a lot of different ways. Some people have lost their homes. We've lost loved ones. And it's made us reevaluate our lives and our values. And we have been called home literally. We've been forced to deal with what is home, with what's there. And within this rawness and tragedy, within all that bullshit that's going on, there is gold. And I did an exercise earlier this week called Finding the Sparkle in the Turd. And it was about how 2020 people talk about how it was a turd of a year. And so I just did that exercise because I wanted to really acknowledge all the crap that's gone on, not make light of it, but see what good lies in it. And I think that people, all the challenges that we're facing, we're becoming the people that we need to be in order to hold a new reality for ourselves and for others. We're developing skills and we're becoming more resilient, and we are strong. You're strong, you're wise, and you can have anything that you desire if you believe that it can happen, but you have to believe. That's the first step. And you already have what it takes. I promise you that. Your life has prepared you for this moment. And you have the resources to get started. Even if it doesn't seem like you do, those resources might just be in a different form than what you're looking for. So they might not even be in the places that you're looking for them. So the question is, are you ready to believe that you can start? Are you ready to become the version of you that you need to be in order to make it happen in a way that's loving and graceful for yourself and for others? This is where the concept of practice does come into play. And I'm hoping to give you a practice that you can take with you and start right where you are. You can read this vision that you get in this practice every morning, and that can be your start. It's as simple as that. So again, my name is Tricia Dietrich, and I'm here to give you a meditative practice so that you can attune your body to this dream, to what it feels like to be unconditionally loved and living in the vision that you want for yourself. So that when you're out living your life and you get these feelings, that you know that's your intuition telling you to follow your yellow brick road. That you know where the turns are. You know when to stop and you know when to rest. And so this is somewhat of a somatic exercise, feeling your cells. Your cells have memory. They carry the energy of your mind. It's not just all up here. Your mind lives in every cell in your body. So does the energy of your heart. And so does the energy of your womb space. And if you're a man, you still have a womb-like energy. It's the place that bridges these two, the mind and the heart. And then there's a bridge that happens. And some people call it an alchemical bridge. It's a bridge where the things that are in our head and in our hearts come through and they materialize in the world. And they have to come through this womb space. And this womb space energy is it's not mainstream. It's often taboo to talk about. If you live on the West Coast, you might encounter it more. In the Midwest, not a lot of people are talking about accessing their womb. They're really into meditative practices. They're really into somatic therapy and trauma, but there's not a lot of talk about womb energy and how this creative life force can be healing and how important it is to integrate it with your mind and your heart. So we're going to do some exercises today that tap into that place so that it can be aligned with your vision as well. We're going to write out our visions, and then we're going to get some action steps. And this is where you can decide how you want to take this after we're off the webinar. You can take action. I'm going to nudge you to take these actions and see what happens. we're going to do a creative exercise after we do the writing. And this creative exercise is to find out what wants to happen next year. And it gets us moving towards our vision in a different way. Instead of the do mentality of thinking about what we want and then making a lot of action steps, we're going to put color and form to our vision and ask what wants to be born and then receive information. This is rarely ever done. And so I encourage you to stay for the entirety of this journey, because if you get the information and you write out the action steps, you may move closer to your dream, but your results are going to be different than if your action plan was made based out of a space of creativity and asking what truly wants to be born from you and from this dream. It's a more receptive space, and it opens up doors that would otherwise be shut had you not done these activities. So, and then I'll have some opportunities for you to go deeper into this with me if you like. And so I just want to offer some support. If you're feeling lost, or like Dorothy, you feel like your home has been hit by a tornado and you are walking out into a world that you're not familiar with, you have a dream and you're unmotivated to show up for it fully, or you just feel like you can't for whatever reason. You want to live with less stress and more lightness in your life, and you would like to show up for others in a better way, or you just want some clarity on what you want to do. You want some clarity on what to do next. Or if you're just here because you want to know how to do things differently, maybe this offering sparks some curiosity within you. I get it, and you're in the right place. I want to welcome you here. I want to tell you just a little bit about me and how I learned how to create through this visionary process. About a decade ago, I was living at my parents' house. I had had 3 hip surgeries. I didn't know whether I would spend the rest of my life there. How old was she? She was 80 at the time. My 80-year-old grandmother was more active than I was. And so I had just gotten into a career that I liked, but I physically couldn't do. So I had to let go of my career. I let go of my home. And I just had to keep hold of a vision and faith that things would change and things would turn around. And things circled around. Things got better, and then they got worse, and they got better, and then they got worse. And I had to learn how to just keep going and to call on help and accept support when it was offered from me, when I was used to not needing support from anyone and feeling very independent. So this was a big lesson in receiving for me and knowing that I was worth it. I had a vision, and I just kept believing that I would get better and that I would find love and have a life of my own. And now, I have to say, I'm not like this stupendous person who's won all these awards for all these miraculous achievements in my life. I am just a normal person. I made pretty good grades in school. I had to study really hard. So nothing has really just fallen in my lap. I'm not a superwoman. I have imperfections. I'm kind of stubborn, and I get irrational and worked up over things. And I'm just like everybody else. There's nothing special about me. But now I live in a new home, and I married a wonderful man, and I have a career that is truly me. And so I tell you this so that if you're in a place where you just feel lost, know that if you just hold that vision of what you want, you don't have to know how you're going to get there. You just have to keep walking down that yellow brick road, and eventually things will open up in your life that you never knew were possible. So I get you, and you can do this. So let's cut all the bullshit, start living our dreams. Now, I'm going to invite you to get some supplies because we're going to start in with the teaching aspect of this. So for this time, you will need a journal, and I'll show you what I have here. I just have a basic composition book, okay? And if you have some art paper that's of a decent size, I invite you to get it. If you have paint, you'll need paint in 3 different colors. If you don't have either of these, you can use markers, crayons, or even colored pens. And if you don't have any extra paper, I invite you to tear out 2 pieces of paper out of your journal and then use that to write on so that you can keep, you're going to be writing out your visions so that you can keep that and you can put it in a place where you can look at it every day. And then do the creative exercise on a couple pieces of paper that's in your journal so that you can keep that image with you in your journal. So if you don't have those, I'm going to give you just a minute and you can go ahead and go get them. I'm just going to take a look around and see who all. Okay, some people. Okay, so everyone that I can see is back and ready. I'll take a drink of water real quick. So I'm going to be touching on 3 different things for these exercises. Visioning or visionary meditation. There's a lot of different terms for it. Writing and creating. And so when we're visioning, we're using our mind to access different areas of our subconscious. This is based in Jungian psychology as well. And a lot of mystics and a lot of people use this type of meditation as well. But Carl Jung wrote a lot about it. But basically, we're opening up ourselves to the deeper parts of us. We're journeying in and we're walking through the landscapes of our soul so that we can meet these archetypal energies that live within us, that live within all of humanity, and encounter them and build relationships with them. And it's from that place that we're informed about what actions to take in our lives. And we're giving our conscious mind an invitation to just take a back seat and rest for a while, which in a lot of meditation is why it's so rejuvenating, because we actually have time to rest while we go within. So that's the visioning part of what we're going to be doing. The second part of what we're going to be doing is writing. And when we start writing, our analytical conscious mind comes on board. And this part of us is really important as well. We live through this part of our life. We live through our conscious mind when we're awake. It helps us plan. It helps us structure our life. It's the thinking part of our brain. And when we write, we ignite that part of our brain. So and if that part of our brain, when we're doing these exercises, takes a backseat for too long, it tends to get a little anxious. So we need to let it know what its part is in what we're doing, or it's not going to relax. So its part is to write down the information that we receive when we're in our meditative visionary states. And the third part of the teaching is creating. And this is just, we've been creating ever since we've been human, but creating has for some reason gotten kind of brushed under the carpet, and our analytical mind has been given more value in our world, and now it's starting to change. The value of creativity is re-emerging. And what creating does is it opens you up to knowledge that you didn't have before. So it also gives this analytical part of us, that part that we usually use in regular problem solving, it lets it sit back and relax while other parts of our brain are stimulated. Other creative problem solving areas of our brain are stimulated. So it enables us to approach problems from different viewpoints. It gives us resilience, and it helps us know who we are, and it creates more beauty in the world when we use creative processes. And it also helps us be more receptive to the world. Try painting a picture of something that you see. Your eyes will change. The way that you look at the world and the colors that you notice will expand. You will see colors that you never saw before once you start looking at something from that viewpoint. So the way that we're creating today is from a receptive place. It's very different than drafting out a project and then designing it and making it. We're approaching this creativity and this creative process that we're doing today with inquiry. And when you use a creative process and you approach creativity with an inquiry or a question, it opens up doors to things and it allows you to experience things that you would not have experienced had you not done that thing. So, for instance, these paintings behind me, it was a process of me asking a question. I asked a question and then I started painting, and the answers started coming. Those answers wouldn't even have entered my life had I not made those brush strokes as I was asking those questions. I journaled for 20 years. I moved to my new house and I burned 20 years worth of morning pages from the artist's way. And so it wasn't until I started creating with inquiry that the things that I was writing about started to shift. So it's a very powerful process. I also want to put a disclaimer on it that if you do this process and you go in depth with it, you will come face to face with the things you're running from, and you will expand in your life most likely. So it's not just like, oh, pretty pictures and unicorns and yay. It's not always that. Sometimes you're having to face some deep stuff. So let's get started. Let's do the visioning part of this exercise. So I invite you to just place your hands on your lap and your feet on the ground. And close your eyes. If you have glasses, take them off. And just close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. And as you breathe out and exhale completely. Think of a time when you were loved unconditionally, where you were loved not because of anything that you did, You were loved just simply because of who you were. This could be the love of a grandparent or a family member or someone very close to you in your life. And think about how that felt in your body to just be and be loved by simply being. Think about the ease and the freedom that comes with this feeling. Let this unconditional love circulate throughout your body, starting at your head and feeling unconditional love for your body parts, for your eyes, your beautiful eyes. See the world and see the world in color and shape and form. They give light to your soul. It's holding your eyes in unconditional love. And letting that energy wash over your face. Giving thanks for all the sensory information, your sense of smell, your sense of taste. Having love for your amazing brain and your intellect and your abilities. Feeling yourself adorned. Feel this unconditional love go down your spine, loving your backbone, your ability to sit up and stand up for yourself in this world. Feel this love sweeping through your organs, through your lungs, through your heart, your diaphragm. One of the most amazing muscles in our body, enables us to breathe. How often do we think about our diaphragms with unconditional love? And then allow this love to sweep down to your digestive system, a place where you accept and integrate and turn food into energy. Going down into your pelvis, having unconditional love for your pelvic bowl, for your pelvic floor, and your organs and your pelvis. And the seed of creative energy that lies within you. And then going around the back of your pelvis, having some unconditional love for your booty. Loving that booty. And then feeling this energy go down into your legs and your feet and your toes. Loving them for taking you where you need to go, giving you direction in this life. Now I feel this love going down into the ground, rooting into the earth, giving thanks for our material aspect, the things that make us us, this organic matter, our bones, our tissues, our cells, the blood that flows through our cells, and the perfect balance that's maintained in this intricate system that's dynamic, that's us. And now we feel this loving energy reaching up to the sky, connecting to the sky, connecting to any kind of spiritual tradition that you may follow, any kind of higher form of ourselves, connecting to that. And feeling ourselves now literally standing in between the worlds of sky and earth, in between the heavens, in a space beyond space and a time beyond time. Concentrate on your heart as it beats in your chest. Feel it beating. If you get quiet enough, you can even hear your heart beating. Imagine that you're walking up to your heart and it's the size of a skyscraper. That it's so large and you are witnessing this dynamic organ pumping blood through your whole body. This organ never stops working, but it rests with every beat. It knows how to rest, and that's how it can keep going. Now visualize yourself walking up towards your heart. And you walk up to it and it's getting less and less solid. And you continue walking up and you walk through the field of your heart and into your heart space. And in this space, you see a path like a yellow brick road that's been laid out for you. And it's covered in rose petals. You walk down the path and you see some gates. These are the gates of your heart. If the gates are closed, ask for permission to enter. And if the gates are guarded by someone or something, walk up to that someone or something and with reverence and respect, ask to enter the gates. As you walk through these gates, take note of the landscape that's there. What colors do you see? What plants and flowers do you see there? And as you continue to walk, you come to a stream and a ferryman is there waiting for you. And you step down into the ferry and travel down the stream. And you just look around at the beauty that you're surrounded in. This lush beauty. You can even dip your fingers in the water as you're traveling down the stream. And the ferryman reaches the other side of the stream and parks his boat and helps you out. And you walk up a big hill to a dynamic structure, the top of the hill. It could be a castle, or it could be a big, lovely cave. Whatever it is, it's big and it's dynamic. And you continue walking up the hill. And when you get to the entrance of this structure, you're welcomed in with loving arms. There are servants there to greet you, to take your coat, and to offer you comfort. They take you into the main room, and they walk you into another room. It's more like an opening or a sitting room. And when you enter through the door of the sitting room, they close the doors behind you, and you see a figure standing there, looking out the window. This figure is magnificent. The figure looks up at you and greets you. Just take note of what this figure looks like. They introduce themselves as your visionary. This is an archetype of the one who's taken a great journey and come home and shared their gifts with others. They tell you about their journey. And then they lead you to a room. It looks like a movie theater, this room. They sit you down in a chair, and there's a screen that's revealed to you. And then that screen comes to life. And you see yourself living the life that you have always dreamed about. This is your impossible dream. It's your I'm possible dream. Let this soak into you. How do you feel in your mind? What are you thinking about? What is your mindset? What are your beliefs? How do you feel in your heart? What do you know to be true? And now, what do you feel on your womb space, your center of creation? What do you claim as your sovereign right? And how do you connect to the world? Allow these energies to just flow through your body and intermingle with one another. And see yourself in this vision. What are you doing? Where are you? And who is with you? Your visionary puts their hand on your shoulder, and you realize that you're sitting in a chair. They reach the other arm out and they grab this vision and they let it sit like a ball of energy in the palm of their hand. And then they turn to you and they place that vision inside of your heart where it can be kept safe and where you can tend to it. So feel that settling in, that vision settling into your heart. And then you rise up out of the theater and you walk through the doors. And the servants usher you to the gates. You say your farewell to your visionary, knowing that now that you know where they are, you can make this journey back again. Your visionary gives you a gesture that you can do that will take you there immediately. And they give it to you now. It might be a clap of the hands, might be a tap on the shoulder. If your visionary has given you a gesture, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and tap your shoulder or clap your hands. Do the gesture now so that you know what it feels like to be taken back into that space and what you need to do in your conscious world to get there. It's like a shortcut. And then you walk down the steps of the castle or the structure and hop in the ferry, where the ferryman takes you down the stream, where you walk along the path to the gates of your heart, through the gates of your heart, through the realm of your heart, until you see your heart beating and it looks solid. And then you come back into your body. You feel yourself slip into your fingers and your feet. And you feel yourself slip behind your eyes. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Lovely. Okay. It looks like everybody's eyes are open that I can see. Now we're going to write our vision on our piece of paper, our loose piece of paper. So I'm going to give you some time so that you can write down your vision of your life that you saw on the movie screen. And you can write what it felt like, who was there. Write down any detail that comes to your mind. Okay, I give everybody a couple more minutes. See, some people are still writing. Okay, so now the next step in this is to feel yourself back in that vision again that you just wrote. What does it feel like in your mind? I say, what does it feel like? Because there's a mindset that provokes feelings. Our mindset provides a template for a lot of our emotions. They feed into one another. What are the thoughts that create the feelings that you have in your body? So, for instance, in my heart or in my mind, there was a lot of confidence and just knowing, like I just knew what to do there, and I was confident in doing it. And that created a lot of ease in me. And I knew what my purpose was and who I could help and who I could not. There was just a lot of clarity that created a lot of ease. And a lot of the anxieties in my life were gone because of that ease. So, how does it feel? How is your mind when you're living in this vision? Go ahead and you can also just close your eyes and like even put your hands on your head. Do what you need to get back into this visionary place. You can also read what you just wrote. And then get into your mind and see how it feels, and then write a little bit about that. You don't have to write as much as your vision, just write a few sentences. And then if you see any colors that come up, jot those colors down. And I'm doing this, I'm saying in my mind, and then I'm writing as if it's happening in present time. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next one. The next one is your heart, feeling into your heart, and then writing a couple sentences about what it feels like in your heart when you're living this vision. And again, you can write it in my heart, I am, and then writing a couple sentences and listing a color if a color is present. Okay. And now we're going to do the same with our womb space. And I'll have to get some feedback from the men on the call if they want me to call it something different. Womb is a very female thing, so I would love to get feedback after we're done with this to see if I can call it something different. But connecting into that part of you, that sovereign, creative ball of energy that's also the side that turns you on and makes you experience pleasure in life, connecting into that part of you and feeling yourself living in that vision. How does that feel? How does your womb feel in that vision? Close your eyes and write a few sentences and write any color that pops up when you think about that or when you're writing. Okay, looks like everybody's done. We're close to being done. I'll give you a few more seconds. Okay, so now we're going to do the creative part, where we are going to ask the inquiry, what wants to be born in 2021 that has to do with this vision? So if you guys have colors that came to your mind when you were writing these down, I'm going to switch my camera so that you can see my paper on the tabletop. Go ahead and get those colors. And if you need to get water or anything like that, go ahead and just get what you need while I switch my camera. Okay, it'll take me about a minute or so. So I'm gonna pause my video here. All righty. So this is going to be my journal. And on one side, we're going to draw a body. So you guys can follow along with me, and you can use your pen for this, or you don't have to use paint. I'm going to use this dark colored paint because you can see it a lot easier. So I'm going to draw a basic human body. On one. So if I had a journal, this would be on one page. And it doesn't have to be a perfect body, just something that resembles you, that you know, okay, this is my body. Okay. And I'm going to draw 3 symbols on here. I'm going to draw a symbol for the mind. And what comes to me for a symbol of the mind is kind of like a marquee cut diamond. I'm going to just draw like a little diamond symbol here. If you have a symbol that comes to your mind that's different, go ahead and just paint that on there. I'm going to draw a symbol for my heart, which is a heart. And then a symbol for this womb space. For my womb space is an upside down triangle. Okay. see if I can move this up a little bit here. Here we go. That's better. Okay. And now we're going to ask the inquiry. You can write this down on the other side of your paper. What wants to be born in 2021? So I'm just writing that inquiry. Okay. And now we're going to tap into these energies of our mind and our heart and our womb again. So bring out the color that came to you when you thought, that came to you when you were writing about your mind. Mine is blue. And I'm just going to start thinking about myself in this vision again. You can reread what you wrote about how it was in your mind. And then I'm going to draw this energy of my mind. So it says, in my mind, I am confident, clear, and sovereign, and I know why I'm here and what is needed. So as I'm painting this, I'm thinking about that. And I'm living into my vision and just feeling that clarity that's coming from my mind. And I'm just letting my paintbrush do what it wants to do. I'm not really thinking about how this looks or anything. I'm just painting the energy of my mind. And when you're done letting this energy flow through, bring it over to this page here. And then we're going to move to our heart. And we're going to get the color that came to us for our heart. And we're going to do the same process where we're just going to let this paint and flow through us. Let's start in our heart space. And this is a very different energy where it's radiating out for me. So it's really interesting to see how these energies play together with each other. Okay, and when you're ready and done with those brush strokes, make a stroke over here on the other side of the page. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask the questions. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Okay, and we're going to move onto our womb space and do the same thing. We're going to start in the area of our womb and just get into our vision. And then just start to circulate that energy through us. Sometimes when I do this type of painting, this energy painting, I feel it in my body. You might be experiencing that. What I feel with this space is that it's really kind of integrating these other energies and then bringing it down, and it has almost a rooted quality to it. Okay, and when you're done making the brush strokes, make one that comes on to the other page. And now we're going to grab our pens and we're going to write what wants to be born in 2021. And then there's from our minds, from our hearts, and from our wombs. So we're going to ask the question and just allow ourselves to write some things down in these 3 points so that we can get an idea of some actions that we can take in the next year. And what wants to be born, it might be something like clarity. So then, what action can I take? And just write the first answers that come. So for me, for clarity, it's a walk in the woods every day. So is everybody doing okay with this? You give me a nod if you're getting some good stuff. If you have questions, unmute yourself and ask. Okay. So if you guys, hi Alice. If you guys have, I would love to hear what visions came and what your actions are. I want to just spend a couple minutes telling you about a couple extra offerings that I have. So this is also a practice that you can do on your own at any time, and you can read your vision again. And like I said, if you don't know where to start, that could be your start. Just getting this vision and reading it, reading how it feels in your mind, in your heart, and in your womb every day, and just taking a moment to close your eyes and just tune into that. You don't have to know how you're going to get there. But if you are tuned to this vision, things will start happening, I promise. It's my experience that they do. And if you do creative work like this, they will happen a lot faster. So I've created a class where you can go a little bit more in depth in the process that I've just given you, and really create a whole action plan for your next year based on this visioning process. And I'll show it to you here. This is my painting. It's called My Impossible Dream, and I have to tell you that each one of my paintings, so this painting that you see here, they all start out, and this painting behind me, they all start out looking like this. So this is basically a garden. I have done, it's the upside of this, basically. These are the seeds of my dreams, and they're planted in the fertile soil of this unconditional loving vision that we just made. And then we've gotten an idea that in the class, the white is, you will see how they come to fruition within this year. There's some white on here. And then the colors represent different actions that you can take to make this dream come to life. And so this is something that you can work on throughout the whole year. Every time you do an action that has to do with one of these seeds that have been planted, you can add color and form to this until it turns into a landscape. And you can also create an action plan. I have a mantra for my next year, and that's based on these 5 seeds that I've planted. So it gives you a lot of clarity in how to kind of go further with this visioning process, which can be a little bit vague when you're starting. This helps you get a little bit clearer on the actions that you need to take. Then from that point on, you can go on your own and you can get a planner and create an action plan. If you want to do that with me, and if you want accountability, because a lot of times when we start to live in our vision, we begin to expand, and there's healing and there's support that's needed for that expansion. There's also accountability. And so I've created a year-long self-care program. There's also self-care. So I've created a year-long small group coaching program that involves self-care and accountability and a painting process where this will turn into an image, like a self-portrait of you standing in your vision, in your big vision. So you would get painting videos, online painting videos, one monthly group call with me. You have the opportunity to do individual sessions, and you have an accountability partner that you give and receive accountability calls with. And I also have a format where you can do creativity exercises on those calls. And so I'll put the links to those offerings in the chat. And I'll also have these on my business page. I'm going to be advertising them. The first group call is January 7th. And so yeah, the online class where you create a painting that's similar to that, but only that it'll be your vision. It won't really look like mine. It is $150, and it's all virtual. You do it in your own time. And the other group coaching class is you can buy it a year-long subscription or membership for $200 a month, or you can do a monthly payment of $222. And it is a minimum of a 3-month commitment. So I will include links to the chat for that. And this has been a joy. And if you guys want to stay and share some of your visions and some of the things that you do, I am so curious to see what they are and see how this turned out for you. So I'm going to stop my recording here. And then if you would like to share a little bit, I would love to hear from you. So.